Hello, everybody. Just waiting for people to pop in. I hope everyone's had a good week. My week seems to be flying by as I get ready to go away next week. Just finding a place to put my phone so that I can see that everything is working. And the volume works. So that works. Yay. That's exciting. All right, I guess I can start with some announcements. Hi, Steph, who didn't want to be live with me. Steph's over there resting. I guess we understand. So, announcements. First off, do I have it here with me somewhere? Maybe, yes, no. It's a pile. If you don't join us on Tuesdays, we're currently reading the Nancy Luby Burdick book, Legacy. And then the following book that we're going to read is Crazy Quilts by Penny McMorris. So there's an affiliate link for that, which will end up in the description box afterwards. Another announcement, Mondays and Wednesdays, Steph is lovely enough to stream on her Twitch that she does at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then we are now doing our Needlework night stream every other Wednesday. The next one will be June 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be looking at 6-inch wooden sewing theme related rulers with advertisements on them. So that'll be fun. If you have anything that you want to share, you can send it to the Gmail, which is quiltnerding@gmail.com. Hi, Janet. You just happened to be online for a while. Well, I'm so glad that you're here and you're going to hang out. It's nice to not talk to no one, which you never know if it's a pop-up, could be what happens. Anywho, I think that's it for announcements. I think we're just going to get the show on the road. It was good enough to take pictures of things this time, which while I did, set up another light and we can certainly look at things in the camera because I have it all sitting next to me in case we want to look at something else more closely. Pictures can just be nice because you can zoom into things differently and have a better focus on it than if it's, using my little camera right here. But one thing that I didn't get a picture of because I totally forgot is this little dog buddy that now my fabulous friend Dawn, she thinks this might be an autograph dog. It could be. It can't hold very many autographs though. But I will say, whoever had it before me repurposed it as a pincushion, and that is totally what I intend it to be. This one's staying in my personal collection. Sorry, Steph. And I'm not entirely sure what it says on here. There's a letter missing, and it's something land museum. Oh, Steph, your autograph dog is much bigger. So this one is probably, let's see, 6. This one's probably like 9 to 10 inches long. But yeah, here's my little buddy here. So you see, it says something museum, but there's a letter missing right here, and obviously a letter missing in museum, but that one's just easier to tell. But yeah, like, look at this little nugget guy. Isn't he the cutest thing? His little hat. And he doesn't have any, he has like a stain, but he doesn't have any autographs on him. He's definitely was like originally like a really nice kind of a velvet, because you can feel just a couple of spots where that velvet still remains, but it's mostly worn off. I guess you can see a little bit of it on the belly. He does have some pins still in his face. Steph, I will bring him to Pennsylvania for you to see. Oh, and his ears are still like really velvety. Like, they feel like a dash hound ear if you were to play with one. I'll bring him so you can see him, but you can't steal him. So yeah, like, this is like in terms of like my forearm, like that's how big he is, and he's really, skinny. So I don't know, but again, what you can tell, like, he's had pins in him. If he was supposed to be an autograph dog or something like that, I don't care. He's not going to be anymore. He's just going to be my little nugget that sits on top and just like looks at me and is all cute and stuff. So that's him. I have to think of a name for him though. I haven't thought of a name yet. Okay. So, and he totally like patootied some innards on me. Let's see. I guess this answers the question of what's inside him. I guess it's like emery. I thought it was sand, but now that it's kind of falling out, it feels kind of like emery. So that's interesting. Maybe it's a little bit of both. So I now have it all over my computer. So let me share my screen here. Okay. It's going to be Inception for like a second, so. Okay. Ooh, it's Inception. Okay, so I'm going to have to move my phone now because now I can't see the chat or anything. Where can I put my phone? I have way too much stuff on my desk right now. Okay. So look at this little guy. Isn't he like the sweetest? I love him. Stephanie was with me when I bought him, and I was like, should I get this little dude? He's going to have to live in my collection for a hot minute because he's just cute. And he's also got a little tape measure in his bum. Isn't that sweet? I love like cute little tape measures. It's not that weird stuff. It's a little dog. I mean, It's weird to have a tape measure in your bum, sure, but it's cute, and I'm sticking to it. So I got 2 of these. Better be weird in a good way. Better not be dissing my little doggy. So I got 2 of these. I got this one, and I got this one. I think that technically they're not pincushions. I loved all the, the handwork done on them. I personally would use them as a pincushion, but I know others would like use them as like a little kind of like decorative pillow situation. I think my mom used to have one like on like her dresser or something like that. But I thought they were very pretty, especially like all the stitching on this one around the side here. I really like in the bottom. And then kind of feeding all that lace through. Very pretty. Very girly and dainty. And then this little guy, one of those cute little, the white with the colored flowers on it. I see them all the time as like elephants, and what's another one I think is like a wishing well. This one's a hand basket. Just cute and dainty. What is a cat, Steph? Are you saying my plaid animal is supposed to be a cat? I don't know. It's got a lot. I don't know. I guess it could be a cat. I don't really think it's a cat though. Maybe open to interpret cat dog. I don't like. Maybe open to interpretation. Persian cat with flowers. Are you talking about this white basket? You have a Persian cat with flowers? You need to say more words. Ah, gotcha. So Steph has one of these styles that's a Persian cat with flowers. Got it. And then look at this little, this reminds me, like, remember that book Strega Nona? That's what this one reminds me of. I think she's the most adorable, like, little lady tomato pincushion thing I have ever seen. Oh, and she's got a tape measure there in her side, which I didn't. Hold on one second. Fetch her out of here. Oh, no, I'm lying. It's not a tape measure. It's a pin. Totally looks like a tape measure. Okay, good. Here I was thinking, like, crap, I didn't take a picture of it. Nope, it's just a pin. But it totally from here looks like a tape measure, like little arm. But yes, I love her. She's the cutest little thing. I don't plan for her to live in my personal collection, but I wouldn't be upset if she did. But she's adorable. Oh, maybe a babushka. I haven't, like, all of this stuff I just really took pictures of today and haven't really like investigated at all. So I'm not sure. People's guesses are as good as mine. And then this is one of those brass nameplates for the stencil plates for inking onto things like friendship quilts and books and stuff like that. This one is dated 1860s. I got this one from a recent sale from the Glee Kruger collection. Steph had shown some stuff that she'd gotten during that sale on one of her Twitch streams, I think like Monday stuff. This was like I've been waiting for one of these because we had shown on another day some actual like physical stamps, and then talking about some of these plates, which some people have made reproductions of that are apparently so good you almost can't tell the difference between an original 1860 and one that was made as a reproduction. But I was like, sweet. Oh my. Oh, I'm sorry, Steph. I didn't know you were going after the nameplate. To be fair, there was another one there You just hated the name. And this must have been after you cursed me for even telling you about the sale to begin with. So yeah, if you want to see what Steph snagged in that sale, you're gonna have to go rewatch one of the Twitches on there. It was not an AA suite, that's true. It was something else like Seeger, TW Seeger or something. And this is the back of it. I mean, and these things are tiny. This one is going to be living in my personal collection. This is also going to live in my personal collection. The lighting has washed out the color just a tiny bit. The color is just a little more vibrant in person. Like the outside there is kind of like dark green. The corners are like a deeper teal. But this is a micro bead pin keep. The bottom there says M little. It's 24 beads to an inch. And then when you open up the top, it's got some pages there for needles. And then the side there is the pin keep part. I didn't get a picture of the side that actually has pins in it. And I didn't get a side of a thing of the back, which is like a pretty, I don't know if we can really tell, like the purple. It's a nice purple color. And then the side like has some pins in it. But I have a few more of these in my collection, and I was like, well, that has to live with me for at least a hot minute, if not a much longer minute. This one looks pretty boring from the outside. It's a shaker leather sewing case. It's really, really thin. And when you open it up, it's got a little pocket in there. And between the note and the little pocket is a little flap for pin, a pin keep. And then I'm assuming in that little pocket you'd probably put like maybe like the needles in the like original little paper case. The reason I got this, even though it's kind of boring looking, is the note. The note inside. Let's see, do I have another picture? Yeah. As lovely as moonlight, as sunlight as true, and dear to my heart is my little sister Sue. Or I'm sorry, my little sweet Sue. And I thought that was the cutest thing ever. So something that was seemingly plain, and not necessarily super fancy or interesting became a whole lot more interesting with a really cute note like that. Steph, wouldn't it have been like so perfect if there was like a sunbonnet Sue on the outside and someone wrote that on the inside? Then you'd be watching a live stream of Steph challenging me to a duel that we'd have to be fighting over the needle case. And then this lovely lady, I just got for my, yeah, you could take me, whatever, Steph. Whatever you say. I just got this sweet lady from my personal collection while I was out shopping for other things during Brimfield week. I've been eyeballing her for over a year, and for whatever shocking reason, she was still there. Other than the top there, that's the only major place where the velvet is worn. On, for the most part, on kind of, I guess what we're gonna call like the arms, the velvet is still pretty lush, and these are little structural pin cushions. I guess to me, they kind of remind me almost of like little octopuses. Not like those big honkers with the really long arms, but like those cute little tiny octopuses, like from Finding Nemo. That's kind of what they're like. Like, I don't know. I go back and forth between feeling like it's a starfish and an octopus. Regardless, I have decided her name should be Matilda. because she just looks like a Matilda to me. And like I love like these just like sweet little stitches right here and here because she's just like so cute and homemade. But like the beading on it is just really cute. Really, really cute. It makes me very happy. I hope other people understand that. I'm sure you must. And then this guy is one of those, made in Japan. Yeah, he's got the Japan stamp on the back. Um, One of those little cute, and then it probably says York PEI because there was someone selling them in York, Maine, which is a great place to go antiquing if you're in Maine. And there's very good lobsters in York, Maine. So, so Janet, you think mine's a star because it has 6 legs? I don't know, like I said, I go back and forth between almost like a starfish and an octopus. It's mostly because of the standing up that I have the octopus vibes. I think I do have another one that I'm pretty sure has 5 legs, and it's not fancy at all. It's just in blue fabric. But yeah, this little guy, I don't really understand the fever over the occupied Japan, um, you know, pincushion fancy. I don't. They're not really my thing so much. I think they're cute, but people just love them. And I really kind of hit a jackpot. I mean, Steph, it's a sticker, so it could be a random addition. But what's interesting is the kind of scroll work around the picture. It almost makes me feel like these were made to be something like a badged sewing machine almost. Like I almost feel like you were kind of supposed to put, your touristy sticker or something on it, but I could I could be totally wrong. Yeah, maybe someone just put it on because if you look at the side, I didn't take into consideration the side. The side has like flowery work in in one of the rounds. So maybe someone did just stick it on there. I definitely wouldn't venture to peel it off because it might take some paint off with it at this point. Um, but yeah, I guess your kid puts dumb stickers everywhere. Oh, Janet, the octopus has eight legs. 5 is a real. Oh, I wasn't calling it an octopus just because I think it's a real octopus. It's just kind of what it reminds me of. It's the only thing. Hi, Tish. You saw a Japanese little rocking chair like that today that was from Scotland. People really like them. They really like, yeah, the rocking chair. People really like them. I always pick them up when I see them. So then this, let me just grab it out of here in case we look at it any closer. Um, this is a 19th century silk sewing roll. It was dated circa 1830s. This is another one that I had gotten from the Glee Kruger collection a while ago, not recently. It's in really nice shape. The silk still feels really, really good. And then it opens up like that with all the channels in it. I have another one of these, not this nice. It's the other one I have, I want to say, is probably made out of like a linen or something. It was one of those things that like I bought it um 3-4 years ago maybe, and I put it away really good. So I just haven't found it again recently. So when I come across it, yeah, the channels are intact stuff. They're in really good shape. And then there's this one is silk janet. And then at the end opens there, and there is a little bit I'll show here on the camera. One side of this pocket that opens at the end does have some damage where it's torn a bit. But everything else, and it's missing like the outside ties. It still has the inside ties here to close that pocket. But otherwise, in great shape. Even in the back here, like when it's all open. I think I have one more. No, I don't. Yeah, this one was really pretty. Um, this one isn't necessarily destined for my collection if somebody likes it. So now this baby. I do have a friend that has poked fun at me for buying a leg, because there is definitely a point in time, some time ago, that I was shopping at a really cool store in New Hampshire that has quite a few sewing tools in it. I do very well at that store, and it had a big leg, like maybe the size of my forearm leg, pincushion. And I, messaged my friend with a picture, and I'm like, what is going on with this? Like, why do we just have limbs, running around? So um, on my recent shopping trip, one of them, I I had recently gone to the store and found, a ton of stuff. The store always has a ton of stuff. And I'd taken pictures of everything that I was interested in. And by the time I was done going through the whole store, it was late. They were staying open till 8 because of Brimfield. And I was hot, and I had just decided I have taken pictures of everything I'm interested in. I'm gonna go home and look through them and kind of make a plan, and I'll come back. I meant to go back the next day. I didn't, because the weather was garbage. It was like torrential rain, or I believe. So I ended up going to like 2 days later, and I had a plan. I had a grocery list, and right off the bat when I went in, the first two things I went after were already gone. So this leg was not on the original list, but because two things were already gone, and then lots of things that were on my list were behind cases, so they needed to be further investigated. And one of them was another sewing roll that had along the sides of it. It had a bunch of fancy stitching along the sides. On the back side of it, all of that stitching was gone. Like, it just wasn't in like the best shape for the price. So I didn't get that one. There was another piece that once it was a pair of scissors that I was going to get. And once I like took them out, the front was very nice. The back was just awful. So I didn't end up getting those. So I'm kind of, I did still get other things, and I did get a couple things that weren't on the list. But I was really feeling like, I had a plan. I was like, I'm going out to spend money. And then when sometimes that can't happen, like, you're kind of sad. So I'm there like, I made a plan to spend money. I'm going to spend money. So I was staring at this leg. And actually, it's not, I mean, when you think about it, it's technically probably a knee-high boot, because if you look at the bottom there, it's a boot, it's got a heel. And I was just kind of like, wow, this leg is kind of sexy. So I decided to get the leg. When I came home, my friend was like, oh my God, you gotta like, oh yeah, the other thing that I didn't take a picture of is that it's meant to hang. It's all that mess of thread there you see. It's got a couple bows on either side and it can hang. So like you could you could hang it on your rear view mirror if you wanted to. That's hot. I think it's cute. It's not necessarily destined to live in my collection, but I wouldn't be upset if it did. Okay, so this guy is another one of those Japanese, and the thimble on it isn't included. I just put it on there to show where it can hold a thimble. And on the other side of it, it has, like a little nub here, probably to hang scissors on. And I don't have a small pair of scissors here right now. Yeah, Steph, it's totally a leg. I mean, it's totally a boot because of that heel on it, and I agree with you. Like the top is meant to be showing like your stockings or your pantaloons or something. Absolutely. I'm running out of room. I'm running out of room. Okay. You really need like one of those desks that's like got like three sides to it, and you walk into like a compound of desks. So Tish thinks it's a saloon dancer's leg pincushion. I mean, I can get on board with that. Totally. So moving on, I got this, and thought of Steph when I saw it because she likes these clog kind of pincushions, and this is a big one. Let me get my little thing here. I didn't take a picture of it next to the tape measure, but this is like 6.25 inches long, and at the widest part, let's see here. At the widest part, it's like 2.5 inches wide, and like almost 2 inches tall. So yeah, it's a big one. And then it's got a little spot on the back here to hang it. I know the scissors on here don't really fit. It's just what it came with. But it's really pretty, and it's got painting on it and carving on it. Like I love the little mushroom on the toe with like a little like house or something down here, or like a barn. I'm sorry, I'm saying it's a mushroom. It's a pinwheel, or I can't windmill. I can't like have words today apparently. But yeah, I thought she was very pretty and cute. And next is this darning sampler, which I think these are the cutest thing. The writing on the side of it, Janet, says vowels, VAAL, or veil. I mean, could it be veil? I don't know. See this little sampler. Oh, there you go, Tish, a town in the Netherlands. Leave it to you to just like find all the cute answers tonight. So this little sampler has, it looks like a tag, potentially with someone's name on it. I just can't read it, and it was very hard to get a picture. Here's the back. That would pick up the writing. So I did take a picture. Oh no, I didn't. I must have gotten rid of it because it wouldn't show. Darn. Darn. So yeah, and I bet you like there's no way this camera is gonna pick it up, but we will try. It kind of looks like it's like Jan Ossel or something like that, but I'm not sure. Oh darn, Steph. Look at you coming in with the dad jokes. This is not destined to. I do. Oh my God, Janet, I really do need like a magnifier. I don't know that it would really help though, because part of the issue here is just the script that it's in, and it's just so I can't really like see the end of it. I guess, Steph, I really need to take a picture for like Robin. I even think it could be a V, like Van Ossel. And it looks like the beginning could be like a CH dot Van Ossel, something like that. Probably just any magnifying glass would help, Janet. Not necessarily a jeweler's one. But yes, I love little darning samples. Okay. Where am I? Yeah, Robin can probably decipher it. She's cool like that. Then I've got this this carved wood needle case. I have had one of these before on my site that I sold a while ago. That was actually, it was similar to this. You can still see it if you go over there and look at my sold smalls. It was similar, but not as big. This one's quite a bit bigger than that one was. Let me see where I go. This one's 4 inches long. I feel like the other one might have been 3 inches long, but I don't remember all the details off the top of my head. I just think these kinds of needle cases are really neat, because to carve that kind of small detail, like that wood is just kind of a bunch of almost like a crosshatch, grid design. And it only opens at that one top. I think of another. Yeah, there's a picture of it together. Yeah, I find them very, very interesting. Just kind of like a simplistic kind of beauty to them. Believe it or not, guys, we're not done. And even once we're done with this batch, I'm still not done. There's still more, and I'm going shopping again this weekend. So this was one of the I'm gonna get this because other items had fallen through scenarios at that shop where I got the leg. This is a bird's eye maple needle case. I knew these existed. I just hadn't seen one where the cover is wood like that, and like a really pretty finished wood. If I've seen any that were wood, they were more kind of like the like that carved wood needle case, kind of a folk art kind of a piece. And it's just, I mean, very simple, but just very, very simplistically pretty. It's kind of funny because that right here, the string, I guess you could say, that's holding it together that you can see on the outside here, is on the tighter side. And when you open it, that was literally just kind of sitting open like a book. Yeah, Tish, it's just very, very nice and pretty. Sometimes there's not a ton more to say than like, well, it's pretty. And then this is cute. Again, the pin cushion, or the thimble doesn't come with it. It's just for show. Yeah, this covered wagon. This is another one of those Japan pieces. This covered wagon pin cushion type deal. And it's funny, the wheels, they turn. I don't necessarily know what this like little ledge is for on this side. Um, but I sure thought this was a darling little piece here. I'm really running out of room. I'm running out of room. I'm gonna like move things around to put things back to make room for things and this and that and the other. Okay. Yeah, there's the front with that little like lip part. And then a shoe, because after Steph and I had done our needlework nights with our shoe pincushions, of course I'm going to come across a shoe. Now, this is interesting because a lot of the ones that we were looking at, it's where you cook your flapjacks. I mean, I guess it could be. I really did hit the motherload stuff. Like I just went bananas finding cool stuff. So with this shoe, a lot of the ones Steph and I were looking at were, I guess you could say like a some kind of a guys with your stuff. I'm totally gonna put that in the listing. I'm gonna say like, and place your little tiny, absolutely microscopic Coleman stove on this little ledge on the back here. So this shoe, like the other one Steph and I were looking at, felt like a cheap, like a cheap kind of metal, like tin kind of, plated something or other. This one is interesting. This one has like a lacquer. It's heavy. But then all this black, like you can see kind of right here where some of it's come off. It's like a heavy, like lacquer coating. I don't even really know how to describe it. I've never seen one like this before. It's a very simple. Is it cast iron? I don't feel like it is. I guess it could be, but I feel like cast iron should be a little heavier. But I mean, it's possible. Since I've never seen one, maybe it is. Perfect for throwing at whoever pisses you off while you're stitching. You'd have to have some pretty good aim, Tish. This thing's only 3.5 inches long. Maybe a painted pot. Does a magnet stick to it? You know what? I don't have a magnet around, so I'm not sure. Painted pot metal, maybe. I mean, Stephanie, you'll see it. I'll bring it for you to peruse. I have like a little box here of things Stephanie needs to look at. But it just feels heavier than some of those other shoes that we were looking at. And it's just a very simple, that you can see see at the tip there, the toe of the shoe, where you can see where like some lacquer has, it kind of almost looks like it got too hot in a car or something and like melted. It's interesting. And on the sides, I wouldn't be able to tell on the light, whatever the picture, but on the sides, it almost kind of looks like that kind of, like, that paint they buy to like purposely crinkle. It kind of looks like that. But I just thought it was interesting. And then of course the velvet pin cushions, like in perfect condition. It looks almost completely unused. So lead, your guess is as good as mine, Janet. I guess it's. I mean, I won't go chewing on it. Wouldn't that be funny though? If like you go over to your girlfriend's house to sew and you walk in, and she's like, "Hey," just gnawing on her shoe pincushion. Just thinking. Kind of like how we chew pencil tips. Like, this lead's yummy. Okay, moving on. So this is someone that Steph has nicknamed as Madge. Again, the thimble does not come with her. I did that just to show that her nose is for a thimble. The little scissors come with her. Um, that's her without her stuff, and she's got her cute little headscarf. It's funny. There's no hair under the headscarf though. It's just those little bit of bangs in the front, and that's so you can see her little mouth. So she's very startled. She's startled that you have shoved scissors in her face, and she can't breathe with thimble on her nose. So she's meant to just kind of sit on your desk, being startled. Yeah, the scissors make it look like glasses. Yeah, I've had quite a few of these scenarios, but you have to be looking at it from the right perspective because the angle they put the scissors in isn't deep enough. Poor Madge. Yeah, I'm sure you feel real sorry for her, Steph. And then this, you might have heard Steph talk on a couple of streams about getting a couple of. She needs eyelashes. She needs eyebrows, Janet. She definitely. Yeah, maybe that would help her expression. Like if she had some brows and stuff, she could definitely use some eyelashes. Wouldn't that be so cute if like somebody that bought one of these put like fake lashes on it? That's totally something I would do. So yeah, Steph had talked about getting a couple of these umbrella needle cases. The ones she got though, I believe, Steph, are they bone? I think you got bone ones. This one is wood, and it's fat. I've never seen one that's like that's this is it compared to my hand. Like this is a big guy. They're normally pretty slender. I've seen some that are a little fatter, but probably about half the width of this one. And I thought it was very interesting. And because it's so nice and big, and it's got a sharper, not sharp, but a nice point on it, and it's wood. It could be used as a stiletto too if you wanted to. So yeah, Steph, you've got bone. Oh, and Bakelite. Okay, I thought you just had bone, but they're pretty slender ones. And then that's it with its top off, and it's got a couple of needles in it, and one has a smidge of thread left on it. Very nice and pretty. It's got a nice like glazy kind of finish on it. Why, thank you, Tish. I feel cool when you think the things that I find are cool. And then this is a telephone. Again, the scissors in this and the thimble don't come with it. It's just for show. But yeah, this has a tape measure, a scissor holder, and the thimble holder, and the pin cushion. And this is another one of those made in Japan. Bigger because here's my hand with it. With a very, has a little baby pin cushion, but very cool and pretty. I mean, Steph, I think we can agree that you think a lot of the Japanese, um, you know, souvenir type pin cushions or sewing caddies are cute. Okay, we're nearing the end here. That's another picture without me pulling weird on it. Now we're gonna get to some Bakelite. So this is a Bakelite book, which so far, where did it go? I haven't even been able to find another one online for even a reference. So yeah, it's it's a decent size for one of the big lights. And this one, the top of the book opens, and that's where it holds a little tiny pair of scissors and two things for thread, and then the bottom there, it's like a bucket looking thing. That is your thimble, instead of usually the people that you see, which you will see after this, but like this, where the stuff is on the inside of the person, and then like the thimble's the bottom or the top or something. um Dawn has weighed in stuff. I'm pretty sure she said she had never seen one before either. Like I said, I haven't yet even found another picture of one when I'm searching for them. And quite a few people have posted their collections of Bakelite on Dawn's site, and I haven't seen anyone have a book in it. So it is currently my understanding that this one is pretty rare. So there's the inside. The scissors are obviously missing um, a piece or two to them, but that's what comes out of the book. And it's a nice, like, this is it, the book compared to like my hand. Like, it's a nice like piece. Very, very interesting. I've never really paid a whole lot of attention to these, like, specific kinds of bakelite pieces. Um, I, you know what, Tish, I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about the history of this kind of stuff yet, at least. I believe some of them could be, because one of the ones we're going to see too is a girl that definitely looks of Asian persuasion. I'm not sure if all of them are, though. That would definitely be a question for the Bakelite collectors, which I currently am not. I don't think I have any pieces like that in my collection currently. So then I got this little nugget, which is just a mother of pearl bodkin, because we had been looking at them when we were, reading Don Ronigan's tools book. And Steph had been talking about having one in her collection, and I just happened to see one just randomly and was like, "Oh my god, that's so cute!" And had was like, "There's no reason not to get it." And then this is just a little tiny cutesy bone needle case. Tish, I really did. Like, I really lucked out and got some really cute stuff. This bone needle case is about 3.5 inches long. Very simplistic and pretty. I do stuff. I do believe Don said you don't often find the mother of pearl ones as easily. So this is another one of those Bakelite things. This girl's currently missing her hat, her oh my god, words. I'm having a hard time. Her thimble hat. I might have an extra one that I can that will fit her head. But yeah, the insides to her, isn't she cute? I love her little smile. And then she opens up. And this one, so apparently some of them do have markings. I do have one with markings. This one does not have any markings, to answer your question, Tish, of whether or not she's Japanese. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if these were from Japan. And apparently they're highly collectible and valuable. Um, could have fooled me. I didn't even notice, but that goes to show you, like, there's when it comes to your like collecting, there's so many options of things to collect that are sewing related. So many things. And then this is our last guy. He is like a cute little clown. And he is also, same kind of scenario where this one, he's kind of, it's almost like standing in a pot that ends up being his thimble. And then that screws off and out comes the thread and you can put needles in there and stuff. Disgruntled clown. Yeah, I mean, I guess his face kind of looks kind of like it almost kind of looks too like let me go back. Kind of looks like he's holding a pin cushion, doesn't it? In the center here. It's like a little ball with all the little pins holding out. I love his painted hat too. Yep, he is very, very interesting. And then on the back, he says Lost River, New Hampshire. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a scenario of like being made in Japan and stores buy them to then put their own mark on them. Or if he never had any mark on him whatsoever and someone bought him and then put their own Lost River, New Hampshire on. I'm not sure. I guess it could be anyone's guess. But that is going to be the end of our fun tonight. We've seen quite a few cute things before we end, and I was wondering because I was like, I'm going to try to keep this at like an hour, and I've kept it almost an hour exactly. So that's fun when that happens. But yeah, does anybody want me to pull anything up last minute before we shut things down for the evening? Tish went through a whole antique mall and found almost nothing. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I went to Brimfield one day, which, if you're not familiar with Brimfield, it's a really massive outdoor antique market, flea market event thing that happens in Brimfield, Massachusetts 3 times a year. They take over the whole town. It's like thousands of dealers. It's insane. And they do a whole week. And I went there on Sunday, which was their last day, and I only went through a quarter of the show and left with only a couple of things. So, it definitely can happen that way. Janet, I'm going to be selling a large portion of these things. If there's things that you're interested in, send me a little message and let me know. You guys get first peek at things when I do these unboxings. So for the most part, I'm pretty sure I made sure to like make a note of things that like I wasn't planning to sell. But and then I guess there's some things that Stephanie might beat people up over. I'm not sure. So Tish, you think either someone is buying it all or it's not selling well right now? I mean, I think part of the problem is there are a lot of vendors out there that don't specialize, so they don't actually know what it is, or they don't put any value on it. A lot of things that I buy at big antique shows like that, oftentimes when I get things, it's from a vendor that's selling other things, and like they just happen to end up with some stuff. So it could be that. In terms of like selling well right now, I don't really know if that's, I'm not sure if that's really the case, like wide in the market, because us collectors are, are always, we're like always buying. I think it has far more to do with devaluing of things, just because it's sewing related, it's women's work, it's, I don't know what this is kind of a thing. That's going to be my guess. Or like, even, like with these Japanese, like, look at this big honker. With these Japanese pieces, I can guarantee you that some people just look at these and like, ugh, this is like old, vintage garbage. Like, no one's gonna want this thing, and they toss it. And they're actually very desirable. Most of the time when I post them, they sell like that. Like, yeah, stuff. Sometimes there's a lot, and sometimes there's not a. And also, again, when I went shopping, I went on the very last day, and that can be great because I got phenomenal deals for things that I did buy. But that can be poopy because a lot of things can be gone. Oftentimes I try to go the very first day when they open on Tuesday, because it's not as busy as a weekend. And also, Tish, I would also say it also depends on like where you're shopping, because from talking with other friends, I if most people that I know that are collectors, if they live anywhere other than the East Coast and they've come over to the East Coast to shop, they kind of all agree that the East Coast shopping is some of the best shopping, because the East Coast, kind of, especially New England, is the oldest part of the country in terms of, America, you know, stealing land and stuff like that. So, field trip. Well, Tish, seriously, Pennsylvania, oh, great shopping. It's great shopping. Definitely, like, come on up to Brimfield. The next one is in July, which I'm not gonna lie is gross. Um, but it can be worth, if you can stand the heat. I usually just try to shopping like really early in the morning before it gets too hot, and then by the time it gets hot, I leave and I go home and I take a nap. But there's also like great stores around. Like, one of the stores that I go to that's near Brimfield, loaded with sewing tools. When I was there, that's the place I went when I was like making a list and I was going back the next day, and I'm sending Steph all kinds of pictures, and she's just like, I can't handle it. It's so much. It's a lot. In my opinion, Tish, the May show and the September shows are often better because they're not as hot. The July show is smaller because it's so hot, so a lot of vendors don't come. There's also a show that I'm going to go to tomorrow called Brimfield North, that's in New Hampshire. It's put on by the same show promoter. It's a lot smaller, but it's in kind of like this cool, like, wooded area. It's like some kind of a racetrack or something. And there's all these, like, there's trees and outbuildings, and they have like all these cute little like pop-up food stands, and it's really cute. Um, you should totally come in September. You should let me know if you're going to come in September. I'm trying to talk Steph into coming up to one of them. And Steph says, I noticed California West Coast antique places have more vintage, while East Coast has more antique. That's interesting. I also noticed that, like, places where they have like big antique malls, I've found some really good stuff. Let's see. I did some antique malls in Kentucky and found some good stuff. I noticed that I didn't hit them, but I noticed a couple big ones in Ohio that I drove by, and found a lot. It really just depends. One of my favorite places for shopping statewise is Pennsylvania. I know Virginia too can have a lot of, good antique malls and stuff. But then, Tish, all you gotta do is you just gotta find dealers like myself, that sells the kind of stuff that you like. Yeah, Tennessee and North Carolina can have good stuff too. I was into antiquing. I lived in North Carolina for 2 years, 2014 to 16, around there. And I was into antiquing back then, but my interests were different. So I was looking for different stuff. So I don't know what their kind of needlework tool quilts kind of scenario would be. Indiana has some good stuff. Indiana has some of those big outdoor markets. And don't they have one of those like multi-mile like yard sale flea market things? I think Kentucky has one. Isn't there one? I feel like there's one that almost goes from like the top of the country down to the bottom and weaves in through those states. It's called something. I've never done it. It's on my bucket list. Um, I know people that have done some of it. Um, yeah, I that's on my list. Like maybe we should make a big like group thing and go like do that kind of stuff. We'd have to make like ground rules for things like you can't snipe items out from under your friend and stuff like that. My mom, when she used to go yard sailing with her sisters, they had this deal where they could say if they saw something from the car, they could say, "I hi hosey," the something whatever they saw. The Button Babes were telling me all about it last year at Penn. Who are the Button Babes? Yeah, Tish, seriously, survival of the fittest. Absolutely. Survival of the fastest. Like, who can go through all the stuff first? Although the thing about going through all the stuff first is you don't notice, there's sometimes I'm sending pictures of places I'm shopping to somebody and I don't notice something that's in the picture. And they're like, look at this thing. And I'm like, I didn't even notice that thing right in front of my face. Didn't see it. Didn't see it. So see, this is why you have to send pictures of cases and things to your friends when you're out shopping so they can eagle eye all the stuff that's in the case that you're not noticing because you have case overload. The lady and Steph, I don't even think I talked to them. Well, hopefully we'll see them next weekend at Penn's and they can tell us more all about it. So yeah, I guess on that note, it's a good time to call it a night because I still have to go eat dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed this because I know I had been saying like I have to do an unboxing and I still have to do a quilt one. I'm working on rigging up a hanging system, not in here, so that I can take some good pictures because like while like yes I can hold them up, for the camera, it's awkward in here. You can't necessarily get a whole good picture of things, and I know unboxings aren't meant to be like perfection. But I feel like if I could get, at least a good picture of it flat, we could quilt wise do kind of an unboxing / quilt study situation. So that's my plan with that. Good job and thanks for letting the cake rest. Just you wait. Just you wait. There will be no rest at Penn's. All right, everybody. Enjoyed seeing things I didn't know existed. Janet, I didn't know some things existed too. It was very exciting to find some of these things. I had a lot of fun shopping, and it was constantly a thing of like, shut up, everybody, and take my money. Like, all right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it when people come hang out and I'm not alone. Please make sure before you leave to like the stream and please subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps us, with the algorithm and stuff. And that means that Steph and I, unless something happens and something pops up in the meantime, that Steph and I will see you guys on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for our Book Talk Tuesday for the next chunk of the Legacy book by Nancy Lou B. Burdick. Thanks. Bye-bye.